Hey everyone, it's been a little while since I've uploaded to this channel. Long time no see. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I thought I'd give you all a bit of an update on what's happening around here, why a lot of the content from my channel seems to have disappeared, and what I'm planning to do with this place. Recently I've been streaming a bit less than I used to, just because, things have been slowing down. I just haven't had the ability to do it as consistently as I would like while doing other things like searching for a job and whatnot. So, there's been lots of gaps where there's not a lot of content or anything from me for those of you that are interested. So I've been having these ideas lately of starting up a new series that is kind of in the vein of the type of YouTube I used to watch when I was growing up. Old school Call of Duty commentaries, specifically stuff that isn't actually about the gameplay. In fact, the game that you're seeing in the background right now is completely irrelevant to this video, and it's more so just there to act as a visual component. You could probably just put this on your other monitor or device or whatever while you're doing something on your main one. But I figured as a way to create some more content that doesn't require a lot of time from me, because it's not super production heavy, would be a series where I get y'all to send me questions, whether that be, looking for life advice, asking for my opinion on things, or even just like, gaming tips or whatever. I feel like it'd be a lot of fun to kind of, walk my way through there and give y'all some of the advice that is the kind of stuff I needed to hear when I was growing up, even a few years ago. I'm getting to that point where my experiences are worth actually sharing and not just kind of always keeping everything to myself. And I don't know, I've always liked the idea of being someone that people can look up to, helping people along and improving their lives in whatever way. So yeah, we're actually going to get started with that right now. Our first question comes in from Chromatical. Hello, Aaron. I've been trying to work on overcoming my executive dysfunction since I have a bunch of projects that need to get done that my brain just will not let me start on, let alone focus long enough to finish anything. Do you have any advice on how to get past these hurdles? Thanks. Executive dysfunction is one hell of a beast, isn't it? It's something that many of us in the neurodivergent sphere struggle with quite a lot. A lot of the time, it's finding ways to cope with your executive dysfunction and sidestep it and work around it. One of the things I like to do that I find helps me a bit is set up a reward system of some sort when I have the means to, whether that be getting little snacks, like little candy treats or whatever, or even just playing a game that I really want to play, but I know I need to get stuff done. Try to rewire your brain into thinking that once you get the thing done that you need to get done, there will be a reward at the end of it, Sometimes I'll, if there's a new update for a game I'm really into, but there's some stuff I need to get done, I will tell myself in my brain that as a reward for doing a thing I need to do, I then get to play that game. Or I can't eat the chocolate bar that I just bought on my trip home until I get at least a little bit of this work done. It's a good element to get yourself started, because I find once you actually start on a thing, you tend to have an easier time continuing it. There's a train of thought that a lot of life is very momentum based. So when you're at a standstill, things tend to want to stay at a standstill. But once you get past that initial difficulty of pushing something to get it started rolling, it'll keep rolling. You'll be able to push it further much easier than having to push it from still. It's definitely tough to fire up that habit and get it into the point where you can do it regularly. I mean, look at me. I still struggle with the executive function constantly. There's a lot of things I need to get done that I either just straight up forget or just kind of get stuck in executive limbo. But yeah, find ways to reward yourself at the end of doing tasks that need to be done so that your brain can anticipate that and use that as a bit of a motivator to get you kickstarted. It's very easy to fall into the habit of, I'll just finish this game and then I'll get started on the thing, or let me just watch a couple YouTube videos to get into the mood, and then you fall down the YouTube rabbit hole, and then here you are watching me give you answers to your thing instead of actually doing your thing. But yeah, my best piece of advice would definitely be get in the habit of making sure you feel properly rewarded, because I find a lot of the time what my brain needs is some sort of external stimulation like that to feel like it's actually worth doing, despite knowing that it needs to be done for, the good of myself or just, real life stuff. If it doesn't get the proper stimuli, it won't actually get started. So if you can provide that in some way, artificial or not, it's a good way to force your brain into sidestepping the executive dysfunction and actually getting it done. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have any comments on that, if you you struggle with executive dysfunction, what kind of things you do to help cope with it. See if we can give Grammatical here some other advice, maybe in the comments. All right, our next one comes from Brooke. Brooke asks, what got you into rhythm gaming in the first place? Any suggestions for those looking to start streaming? Additionally, any pitfalls that people should look out for? Also, do you listen to any podcasts, and would you ever want to go on a podcast? Thank ye, :3. So let's just take this one step at a time, I guess. What got me into rhythm gaming in the first place? It's a tough answer. There's technically two answers to that, depending on how you define a rhythm game. The first answer would be when I was extremely young, we had a PlayStation 1, and we had a demo disc for that. Remember demo discs? Oh my god. We had a demo disc for that with a game on it called Bust a Groove 2. And it was kind of like a rhythm dancing game, sort of. You didn't really need to match timings of your inputs for anything outside of, I think, like 1 beat per measure, if I recall correctly. I don't know. I might look up some gameplay and throw it on screen here for just a brief moment. But we had that on the demo disc, and it was by far my favorite game on that demo disc, even though I was absolutely garbage at it. But then a little bit later, when we got a PS2, it came with another demo of a game called Frequency. And Frequency was developed by a game company you might know because their name was Harmonix, and they then went on to create Amplitude, which was a follow-up to Frequency, and then Guitar Hero. From there, it was just absolute history for me, but I got my very first start with Buster Groove 2, but Frequency was where I really fell in love with rhythm gaming. I am absolutely obsessed over that game to the point where I think we ended up buying it 3 or 4 different times because, like, one way or another, if like the disc got scratched or ruined or something, the game wouldn't load correctly, so I would bug my parents over and over until, you know, eventually months later they'd cave in and get me another copy. If you've got a PS2 lying around, I'd recommend picking up a copy of Frequency on eBay if you can and giving it a try. It's a really fun, different kind of rhythm game, but you can totally see the roots of where Harmonix got their start and how that kind of evolved into what they turned into Guitar Hero. Any suggestions for those looking to start streaming? Additionally, any pitfalls that people should look out for? When it comes to starting streaming, grab OBS, look up some tutorials, you know, just kind of go for it. The thing about streaming is you definitely can't start it looking to be successful at it. You can't start it looking to be like, oh, I hope I get 1 million viewers or whatever. When you start streaming, you're going to have no one watching. You're going to have maybe one person watching, lurking in the chat. If you can get some friends to stick around for the whole stream, gas you up in the chat, that's a great option too. But honestly, some good advice would be practice on your own, like before you even start streaming. Just like record for your own sake. I don't know, 1 hour or 2 of you playing a game, trying to be entertaining without any other feedback from anyone else. It's really tough. It's really hard to do. If you can find ways to entertain yourself while doing that and keep the energy up, do things that you think are being entertaining, then try out streaming and, you know, hang out with people, have fun with some friends, maybe connect with some people. It's a lot of fun if you can find enjoyment in it inherently without requiring the success for it. The main pitfall I think people fall into when streaming or trying to start out streaming as well, they're trying to either, you know, follow trends or do what they think will grow their channel the fastest or whatever they think, you know, is the most popular thing to do. But in reality, when you're starting out streaming, you kind of want to be starting out with a niche. You know, if you're just like a person that plays whatever the most popular game is at the time, you know, the flavor of the week, you're going to be doing the exact same thing as thousands of other streamers. Whereas if you can find a game that you really enjoy, a game that you can really sink your teeth into, or like a genre of game that you can sink your teeth into and be entertaining while you're doing it, no matter how small it is, that's the best way to build up a community of people that actually care and will stick around for the kinds of things you might want to explore in the future. Lastly, do I listen to any podcasts and would I ever want to go on one? I'm not a regular podcast listener. Every now and then, I'll pull up something like The WAN Show from Linus Tech Tips and just have that on in the background. Sometimes I'll have some other random ones with like guests of random YouTubers or content creators that I know and like. So occasionally I'll listen to a podcast, but I'm not like a dedicated listener to any specific one. In fact, a lot of the time I don't even listen to entire podcasts. I just get, you know, like small clips of it in my YouTube feeds or whatever. But I do enjoy them every now and then, especially stuff like tech related or gaming related, obviously is a huge part for me. You know, shout out to Lore Hero. Those guys are awesome. Would I ever want to go on a podcast? Honestly, yeah. I love hanging out with people and recording content. It's like one of my favorite things. Many times over my childhood, and even since then, I have dreamt of and actually attempted to start podcasts and do things in my teens and well into my early 20s. I've done a lot of things of recording more long form content, just hanging out with people and doing stuff. I love that. I love content creation. It's just a lot of fun for me. I really enjoy it. So yeah, I would love to be on podcasts. If anyone wants to invite me onto one, no matter how big or small, I'm down. As long as, we've got common things to talk about and ways to keep things interesting. It's weird. In my normal life, I don't really like to talk much. I'm a very quiet, reserved, kind of keep to myself person, only really speak when spoken to unless I've got something important to say. But I don't know, with content, I love it. I love back and forth with people. I love that. You wouldn't think so because a lot of my content, like my streams, is very solo, very kind of me-oriented. But that dynamic of having someone to bounce off of is really good and really fun. And it's something I would like to do a lot more of if I could find the means and the time to do so. I think that'll wrap up for today. If any of y'all would like to submit questions or comments or things looking for advice or stories or whatever, feel free to throw me an email at inboxed@eternal.ae. I'll have that down in the description. Or if you'd prefer something kind of more anonymous, I'll also have a Google form linked down there as well. You'll have to sign in to your Google account just so I can be sure there's no abuse of it, but I won't collect your emails or anything. So if you want to submit something there anonymously or not, you also have that option. That's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope y'all would like to see more of this. Let me know if you would, or if you absolutely hated it, let me know too. As always, my name has been Aaron Eternal, and I'll see y'all next time.